Hello everyone, JSA King 11 here. Hope you're all doing well. Recently, I've announced Sonic and the Sovereigns of the Emeralds, a Sonic and Disney crossover audio series that will premiere on the channel this year. I wasn't expecting it to get so much support, but it did. Words can't begin to describe how happy it is to hear so many of you are interested in it. I know you guys have a ton of questions about this series, so today, I hope to answer as many of them as I can. So let's not waste any more time and get right into the questions. This first one comes to us from Ethan Emerson 4862. Is this an original fanfic/AU being made here on YouTube? Or is it a dub of an already existing fanfic/AU available to read somewhere? This is an original fanfic or AU written by me. This is not a dub or an adaptation of anything already existing. This storyline comes from my own brain. It's been something I've been working on for a long time now, and super excited for everyone to finally get to see it. Super and Oreo asks, do you have any idea how many chapters there will be? And if not, how long do you expect this series to be? I do have a rough estimate of the number of chapters, or as it's called in this story, acts, because in Sonic the Hedgehog, you go through Act 1, then Act 2, then fight a boss, and so on and so forth. There is a prologue, which is part 1, followed by an act per emerald, so 7 Chaos Emeralds means 7 more acts. Then, the finale. So as of now, we are looking at 9 chapters. Though I do have plans for more stories set in this world to flesh out the lore. One of them being focused on Silver's future, which I felt hasn't been done before in a fan project. As for the length, I can't exactly speak on it. But the script for Act 1 is much larger than Voldemort's first chapter, so expect the series to be much longer than the previous one. Which is, I'll admit, a bit worrying because the longest Rise of Voldemort episode, Chapter 7, was 3 hours. And Sonic has somehow eclipsed that in Act 6. I can't really say much about that, but you'll just have to wait, watch, and find out. It'll be as long as we need to tell a complete story. Fan of a lot of stuff asks, will this be more story-focused, or will this be like Paper Mario The Rise of Voldemort, where it has shitpost moments? That's my main question. Excellent question. Unlike Rise of Voldemort, which was more of a giant shitpost featuring a multitude of characters and locations from different series coming together, Sonic and the Sovereigns of the Emeralds is much more story and character focused. This is going to be strictly Sonic and Disney only. No Mario, no Breaking Bad, no DC, no My Hero Academia, no SpongeBob, no Mr. Beast, no Valve, nothing but Sonic and Disney. There might be some surprises here and there, but just expect it to be primarily Sonic and Disney. And on top of that, as I said before in the announcement video, this project is going to be more PG/slight PG-13. All the more coarse, profane language Rise of Voldemort was known for has been completely removed. And all the better for it, as it allows the story to take itself a bit more seriously instead of trying to tell jokes every few seconds. But don't worry, it's not going to be a boring series. Just because it's more story-focused doesn't mean there won't be funny moments. It's Sonic and Disney, not The Last of Us or anything. If I can compare the two, Paper Mario is like a Leslie Nielsen movie, and Sonic's more like a narrative-heavy Cartoon Network or Disney Channel show. It's different for sure, but it's still gonna be a fun time. This next question comes from Anthony Beaker 948. Hey man, how's it going? So question, will this story be set after Sonic Frontiers, or is it after the Sonic comic reboot series with Sally, Bunny Raboot, Antoine, Nicole? Oh, so you're asking whether or not the Archie comics are canon. I hate to disappoint, but Sonic and the Sovereigns of the Emeralds is set after Sonic Frontiers, meaning every game before it is canon, including the recent Sonic X Shadow Generations game. This also means that the series is set in the IDW timeline, not the Archie timeline, because those comics are canon to the games. The works of Ian Flynn, Evan Stanley, and everyone else involved in the IDW have influenced the writing of this project. But don't worry, because as for the Archie comics, where characters like, as you said, Sally, Acorn, and Nicole come from, all I can say is that while those comics are not canon to the series, that doesn't mean inspiration can't be drawn from it. Sally is name-dropped a few times in Act 1, and I do have plans for more Archie characters to show up, So in short, Game and IDW continuity, After Frontiers, and Archie is not canon, but that doesn't mean that characters and things and places from it can't appear. So keep an eye out. Super and Oreo has another question. What is the policy on deep cut characters? Is there anything that is off the table for representation? Good question. In terms of policy, I want to primarily stick to Sonic and Disney only. I said this before, but it's just going to be those two. Originally, I was going to go beyond that like Rise of Voldemort was, but I later chose to keep it more consistent because it would be kind of weird if a bunch of extras like Wallace and Gromit and LeBron James showed up in a primary Sonic and Disney focused story. In fact, that did happen until it was rewritten. So as of now, just Sonic and Disney, maybe a Goomba or a Koopa here or there, but that's just about it. If you want to go deeper with specifics, I can gladly do that. So for Sonic, almost anything is on the table, from games, comics, movies, etc. There are some deep cuts and references here and there, and even some underrated characters popping up. But don't expect anything like Chris Thorndike or anything from the Fleetway comics. Also, and I can't believe I have to say this, no EXEs. Just want to make that clear. No Sonic.exe, no rewrite, no Shin Sonic, even though I voiced act in that series, and a huge no to that weirdo with the crystal in his stomach. Okay, as for Disney, I know it is a big umbrella, but I want to narrow things down to what I like to call Prime Disney. What is Prime Disney, you ask? Well, this includes animated movies and shorts, live action material like Mary Poppins or 2000 Leagues or Black Hole or Tron, the Disney theme parks like Disneyland and Disney World and Euro Disney, video games like Epic Mickey, Disney television shows like stuff on Disney Channel, Disney XD, Playhouse Disney, and Toon Disney, Muppets are highly considered, Pixar, and even Disney's live-action remakes. Don't expect anything from the likes of Marvel, 20th Century Fox, or even Star Wars. While they do fit under that umbrella, they aren't exactly Prime Disney. Not saying it's impossible, but it isn't a priority. Though, Sonic with a lightsaber does sound cool. What do you think? Alright, next one comes from Unitato Productions, who is also doing a really cool Sonic series that you should totally check out. Anywho, her question is, will you add more underrated Disney characters like Jose Carioca, Panchito Pistoles, Varian, Captain Amelia, etc.? Yes, I want to try and add as much underrated deep cuts as stated before. Some deep cuts have already been written. Sleeper hits like Raya and the Last Dragon and Tangle the series are in fact a part of the series as early as the first act. And I can't really say much as it does spoil some of the plot, but I have big plans for the Black Cauldron. There'll be a 20,000 League sea monster here and a couple of Tiki Room birds there. As for the ones you requested, I'm not sure Amelia would work unless Sonic goes to space, but I can safely say that the birds will be in it. No spoilers, but they're in it. They're there. And they play a pretty big role too. There's always the factor of how would this character fit the story? Or why are they even here in the first place? For now, stay tuned. You'll never know who may show up, wink wink. Talented voice actress and voice of Amy in this series, Infectious Pink asks, how many Disney characters do you think will appear in the series? There are hundreds of them. It must be hard to choose which make the cut and which won't. You are right. It is super hard to decide which Disney character shows up in the series. And the same goes for Sonic characters as well. In terms of how many Disney characters in total will appear, I am not sure, but there will be a lot. As of Act 6, the ratio of Disney to Sonic characters is 71 to 36. You do the math, but it looks like there is more Disney than Sonic in the series. As for what characters will appear and who doesn't, I ask myself, where are we in the story? What location is Sonic and the others visiting? Who would make the most sense for them to run into? What villain is he fighting? For example, Sonic will be traveling to an area based on Adventureland from the Disney parks, so of course he'd run into Jack Sparrow and go up against Captain Hook. Speaking of, the colors and symbolism of the Chaos Emeralds helped me figure out which villain and which hero would show up. For instance, cyan often represents serenity, fitting for someone like Ariel. and the opposite of that would be a hothead like Hades. As for what doesn't get the cut, there is a lot that was originally planned that got scrapped. From scenes to characters, plotlines, locations, and even entire versions of scripts were scrapped and reworked. It all comes down to what fits the story and what will be the most fun to use. Hydrosity's Shark asks, will the Disney settings like Agrabah, Pride Lands, etc. be unified into one world? Or will there be dimension hopping? Or will the layout be comparable to Kingdom Hearts? Good question. In this series, the worlds of Sonic and Disney are in one unified world, meaning that places like Green Hill Zone, San Francisco, Soliana, Corona, Angel Island, the Space Colony Arc, Toontown, Motunui, and so on and so forth, all exist on the same planet. There is no dimension hopping in this series. It's just way too confusing and convoluted, and personally, I think that Sonic in the multiverse is kind of a dumb idea. Ethan Emerson 4862 asks, because this is a Disney crossover, I'm assuming this is going to be like the storybook games. If so, if you do Beauty and the Beast, may I recommend Jeffrey St. John or Scourge, both Archie characters, as Gaston? Again, assuming this is like the storybook games, where existing characters play the role of fairy tale characters. No, it's not. I've been getting a fair amount of comments comparing this to a storybook game like Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight. Sonic and the Sovereigns of the Emeralds is not that. Sonic doesn't travel into any book, and no Sonic character plays the role of a Disney character. As I stated before, the worlds of Sonic and Disney are united, one planet, one universe. There aren't any cross-dimension shenanigans in the story to be seen. This question comes from another guy that is doing a Sonic audio series, as well as a Ratchet & Clank one coming soon. Wyman Games asks, the Chaos Emeralds have been responsible for some mind-blowing super transformations throughout the Sonic franchise. With Sonic and Disney's worlds colliding and the Emeralds presumably a crucial aspect of the series, will this lead to some new/unique transformations, specifically on the Disney side? Ooh, really good question there. However, I can't really answer that without spoiling too much. All I can say is that there will be something of the sort. I have a few different concepts drafted for new forms for certain characters. However, I cannot speak on what they will be. You have to just watch the series and you'll know it when you see it. Roland Carbol 5295 asks, so is this like Kingdom Hearts or Epic Mickey? I'd say it's a bit of both. Kingdom Hearts in the sense of an outsider traveling to Disney locations, helping heroes with their problems, and fending off iconic Disney villains, all while a sinister plot unfurls under their nose. And Epic Mickey due to how much it honors its Disney roots, as well as other things I cannot explain yet without giving too much away. A lot was taken from Epic Mickey. There's been some teasers on my channel hinting that Mickey is showing up, and yes, and every time I depict him, it's in the Epic Mickey form. White face, magic brush, paint and thinner, it's all there. And if you saw the announcement video and the title reveal, I did tease that a certain Lucky Rabbit is in the series. I recommend staying tuned for more details. The Fanatic Idiot asks, I wonder if Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU characters will appear in it. Unfortunately, there will be no characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As stated before, I want to focus on prime Disney stuff. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe, while it falls under the Disney umbrella, isn't really on the same ground as something like Wish or the Owl House. And on that note, do not expect anything from the Star Wars franchise to appear as well. Knothole Hub asks, what is this about? I've explained the premise of this series in both the announcement video and casting call. I recommend you check those out. But to give you a quick rundown, the Disney villains are after the 7 Chaos Emeralds to destroy the sun, and Sonic and friends must put a stop to them. There is a lot more to it, but I don't want to dive too much into the details. Just watch the announcement video or read the synopsis on Casting Call. It's all explained there. G3org 3 Does Games asks, who TF is Sonic? He's a hedgehog. Moving on. Knothole Hub asks, is Kingdom Hearts a part of this? No, Kingdom Hearts is not a part of this. I have nothing against the series, but due to the complexity of the series, it isn't worth the trouble of bringing in. This series will focus on Disney and Sonic. Kingdom Hearts is more or less its own thing and it isn't worth the effort of bringing in. Knothole also asks, which Sonic characters will appear in this? Again, this is another question that I can only partially answer. We do have the main cast consisting of Sonic, Tails, Silver, Blaze, Amy, Knuckles, Shadow, Rouge, Eggman, Orbot, Cubot, and Sage. But there's also characters like Big the Cat and Wade Whipple appearing. As for the rest, you will just have to wait and see. Valmid5069 asks, is this the closest thing to an official Disney and Sonic crossover other than Sora's entry in Super Smash Bros? I think the closest thing to an official Disney and Sonic crossover was Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. You had all the Disney princesses and Sonic in the same movie. Would have loved to see them interact, but hey, that's what this project is for! Sovereigns is a fan project not affiliated with Sega or Disney. But I guess you can say this is the closest thing to seeing what would happen if the two worlds met. Speaking of, Knothole Hub asks, Sonic meets Mickey. Mickey Mouse will appear in the series, as stated earlier. He has appeared in many of the teaser videos and figured I'd come out the gate and say he's going to be a major character, taking plenty of inspiration from his appearance in the epic Mickey games. As for meeting Sonic, while it is planned to happen, it won't be immediate. In fact, Mickey will be spending more time with Shadow the Hedgehog. Had a blast bringing Mickey into this project and cannot wait for you to see how we handle him. Thaidius Wong asks, I recall one day when I gave a proposed opening narration. Sorry if it was long, but will there be something reminiscent of Beauty and the Beast narration, even if you said there probably won't? Oh yeah, that. I remember reading it. Good job with the narration, but that is not exactly what this story is about. As for whether or not this series will have a Beauty and the Beast style narration, well, it doesn't. The closest thing to that will be a monologue done by Knuckles, mostly recapping the events of the previous series and how it leads into this one. Been looking into ways on how to add characters like Yen Sid into the mix. No promises, but stay tuned. Knothole Hub asks, who will be Sonic's girlfriend from Disney? No one. The Artist Gamer 995 asks, will Scrooge McDuck and some members of the Duck family be here? Will Mickey and Sonic have their own set of partners like how Mario did? I can't really say much about specific characters, but all I can say is that if you're looking for DuckTales in the series, then you are going to be very happy. And as for partners, unfortunately, there won't be anything like that, or at least like how it was in Rise of Voldemort. The main group will just be Sonic, Tails, Blaze, and Silver, with Shadow, Rouge, and Knuckles having their own adventure. The characters they meet will be exclusive to the act they appear in. There won't be any partner system like how the Paper Mario games have a partner system, so I'm sorry to say, but there won't be any set of partners for Mickey and Sonic. This is because having a more focused cast will make juggling all the characters a lot more easier in both writing and editing. With Rise of Voldemort, you had like 8, 9, 5 characters all at once, and it was really hard to keep track of everyone, both in writing and editing it all together. With Sonic being a lot more focused and grounded and not having, so many people join the group, it makes the story a lot more smoother, focused, and a lot more easier to edit. Hydrosity Shark asks, how will Sonic survive underwater, assuming he winds up in Atlantica? Sonic will not wind up in Atlantica because he can't swim. However, there is going to be something in Act 3 that I cannot spoil yet, but it should answer your question. Just keep watching. And that is everything that I can answer. Thank you all for your amazing questions. It was a lot of fun going through all of these and answering them. I hope this gives you guys some clarity on what this new series is about. On my end, I can safely say that the first 6 episodes have been fully written and ready to go. Work on Act 1 is about to begin very soon, so I ask that you wait just a little bit longer. I promise, this series will be worth the wait. If you want to be a part of this series, be sure to check Casting Call Club for upcoming editions. And with that, I shall be heading off. Thank you all for your questions, and hope you are looking forward to Sonic and the Sovereigns of the Emeralds. See you soon, and be sure to subscribe, comment, and leave a like. It helps out the channel, and If you subscribe, you'll be among the first to know when the first episode of Sonic and the Sovereigns of the Emeralds goes live. With that, I'll see you all very soon.